Hi guys, welcome back to The Baseline. Thank you so much for joining me today. So imagine this, imagine signing a mortgage so long your grandchildren would still be paying for it. And no guys, this is not a dystopian Netflix pilot. It's the latest solution being floated to fix America's housing crisis, a 50-year mortgage. That's right, half a century sold as the new face of affordability. And it's not satire, it's not a joke. President Trump tweeted the idea himself, and he's calling it a game changer. But the real question isn't what it changes, it's who it actually serves. Because here's the truth no one really wants to say out loud. When a mortgage outlives the homeowner, the dream of ownership dies along with it. Now, I can imagine you can feel it, like I think a lot of people can, that quiet panic every time someone mentions housing. The average American can't buy the home they grew up in. Renters are stuck in bidding wars with hedge funds. And now, the people who built this system are saying, hey, you know what? Don't worry. We'll just give you more time to pay us back. That's kind of like your doctor saying, hey, we can't cure your illness, but we'll stretch the payments over 3 generations. But let's try to cut through the noise and analyze this. So take a breath with me. A 50-year mortgage, it's being pitched as a way to make homes affordable again. But mathematically, emotionally, even morally, it feels like a trap. And it's not new. I mean, back in the 1940s, when the 30-year mortgage was born, it was designed to help families build equity. Post-war America, they wanted stability. But over time, that tool meant for liberation became a lever for control. Now, if we fast forward to today, and the housing market, it doesn't seem like it's about homes anymore. It's about financial instruments. Debt is the product, and people, well, they're just the packaging at this point. But here's what the math says. Going from a 15-year to a 30-year mortgage boosts affordability by about 34%. But going from 30-year to a 50-year, less than 8%. That's it, 8%. Half a lifetime added for single-digit savings. It's like being told you can lose weight by running 1 marathon instead of 2 cheeseburgers shorter. But the point isn't savings. The point is stretching the illusion of affordability just long enough to keep the machine running. Now, if you think this is about helping first-time buyers, look again. Because developers love it, right? They love it because it keeps prices inflated. Banks love it because it guarantees interest payments for half a century. And politicians love it because it delays collapse until they're out of office. So this isn't a policy, it's more like a PR stunt with a mortgage calculator. Think of it like this. When they can't lower the mountain, they just sell you a longer climb. It's not about helping anyone afford the dream. It's about keeping the dream expensive while pretending to make it accessible. And if that sounds cynical, remember this. Every major housing innovation in history, whether it be subprime loans, interest-only mortgages, adjustable rates, all started as creative solutions until they exploded in our faces. Now, reports suggest a 50-year loan could actually cost more than a 30-year because of the higher interests, right? So the buyer gets the illusion of relief while the system gets, 50 years of guaranteed profit. So it's kind of like paying for a cruise you'll never take, but the captain still thanks you for boarding. But the deeper story isn't financial. It's somewhat cultural, because this isn't about houses. It's about control over time itself. A 50-year mortgage changes how generations relate to ownership. It redefines adulthood as a lifetime subscription to debt, not to stability. So you won't pass down a home, you'll pass down an account balance. And that's not capitalism anymore. That's feudalism with Wi-Fi. So let's pause here, take a breath, because this is where most people stop the conversation. They say, well, it's voluntary. If you don't like it, don't sign it, which sounds reasonable enough, but that's still like saying, if you don't like drowning, just don't go underwater. So it's an interesting dichotomy, because when wages stagnate, inventories shrink, and corporations buy entire neighborhoods, choice becomes kind of theater. And this is how economic despair gets rebranded as financial innovation. Think about who benefits from time-stretching debt. If a family stays on the hook for 50 years, that's 50 years of predictable profit for investors. Meanwhile, the homeowner spends a lifetime renting from the bank, only now it's called owning. Now, that's the quiet brilliance of modern finance. They privatized the American dream and then sold it back on layaway. It's the same play we've seen for decades. They inflated tuition and sold you student loans. They inflated healthcare and sold you insurance. And now they've inflated housing and they are selling you a longer leash. Every crisis is an opportunity to monetize despair. But let's zoom out for just a moment, because the stakes here go beyond housing. When people can't afford permanence, they stop believing in the future. They delay families, abandon communities, and retreat into survival mode. And when citizens live on borrowed time, democracy itself starts running on credit. Because the longer you owe, the less you own. Not just your house, but your voice too. And here's the most dangerous part. Once lifetime debt becomes normal, it spreads. Today, it's a 50-year mortgage. Tomorrow, a 75-year infrastructure bond, or a 100-year national deficit nobody intends to pay off. Now, that's not stability. That's denial on autopilot. So what's the real fix? It's not magic math, right? It's unlocking supply, taxing speculation, and rewarding long-term ownership over short-term profit. Now, it's policy that values families over fund managers. But a society that builds homes faster than it builds hope ends up collapsing. So what do you guys think? Do I have this all right? Do I have it all wrong? What do you guys think about the 50-year mortgage? Does it make sense? Put your comments in the section below. I look forward to reading all of your opinions. And once again, guys, thank you so much for joining me here on The Baseline. We'll catch you the next round. All right. Cheers, everybody.